Right, so in last episode, I'd made my way from Tokyo to Amsterdam. Finally, after those delays, after 2 sleepless nights in separate hotels, and obviously during the flight, I told you I'd been playing some games. I'd watched a couple of films, and so one thing I hadn't done was slept. I cannot sleep on aeroplanes. I'm useless at it. It never seems to work. And also on this flight, there wasn't really an opportunity to do that. So I've been on some flights that have been like evening flights, and all of the blinds on the windows get closed and they dim all of the lights on the plane so people can try to sleep. And that was actually, when I went over to Japan, I had that kind of flight. And I think it wasn't the first time I've had that kind of flight, but I remember thinking, this is horrible, I just have to sit here in this really, really dark light. I'm trying to sleep, I can't, and it's just making it's just a worse experience for me. I'd rather be awake and doing something, because I felt like I couldn't really do anything at all. Like, if I'd watch a film, the screen was too bright. If I wanted to play a game, the screen was too bright because the room is so dark, and it'd probably just give me a headache or something. So that was much worse. So this flight was just bright for the whole flight. And so I didn't sleep at all. So now I had like 2 nights of bad sleep, and then no sleep throughout the next night, like my natural body clock night. And I was in Amsterdam, landed, and then got off the plane, and I was walking through some corridor, and I noticed, wow, the air feels cooler here, and it feels like more like fresh, like a certain freshness on my face, or like a freshness when I breathe it in, that I did not have in Japan so many, 13 hours ago. And then I went through to the security. I always find it a bit weird, but when you go through security, you get on a plane, then you have to go through security again. I always find that bit a bit weird, but I don't know, maybe someone gave you something weird on the plane, but then how did they get it on the plane? Anyway, I don't know. So I went through security again, and this time I did actually get stopped. So in Japan, no problem at all, but this time both of my bags were stopped. I needed to be searched. So the staff were very friendly there, and they said, do you mind if I open your bag? I said, no, no trouble, go ahead. And they opened it, and one thing that they were suspicious about, I suppose, is I'd bought this these spices back from Japan, and they sort of took it out and said, "What's this?" And I explained what it was, and they said, "Do you mind if we do a swab test, test it for drugs or something?" And I was like, "No, go ahead." But at the same time, you sort of worry a bit, don't you? You think, well, I know there's no drugs there, but what happens if the computer gives a false reading? This could be, this could turn into a right nightmare. I guess maybe if that happens, I don't know, maybe you get taken away to some room, and then they have to do a more strict test. But yeah, it was just salt and pepper and some other things. So it shouldn't be too hard to figure out what's in there. So anyway, that was fine. They rubbed something over it and then put it in a computer, and the computer says it's good or it's bad, and it was good. So that was fine. The next thing that got the thing in the other bag that made it get stopped and searched was my microphone. And the lady got it out and had a look at it, and she said, "Oh, you a singer?" And I said, "No, I'm a podcaster." So that was interesting. I've never been stopped for a microphone before. When I went, weird thing is, when I went to Japan, and I went through Birmingham airport, I went via France that time. Again, no problem with the microphone. They didn't like my camera, I remember. I had to, they said, why didn't you get your camera out? And, I was thinking, well, someone's just told me, get your laptops out, iPads out, and I think that was it, really. Laptops, iPads, I just kept saying that. So it's well, my camera isn't a laptop and it's not an iPad, so it just stayed in the bag. It's really hard, isn't it, at airports? I never know till the last minute, have I got everything out that I need to get out? What I should probably do is just go up, get a tray, hold my bag upside down, shake it so that everything falls out into the tray, and then say, like, there you are. There's nothing left to take out of my bag anymore. It can't, I've definitely done everything I need to do. Anyway, so I was I managed to find the gate that I need to get for my next flight, and there was no one about at this time. I'd obviously it was 4 hours before the flight. No one there. I think there were 2 other people, but it was just completely silent. It was amazing. So quiet. It was a sunny day, nice weather, and I just found somewhere to sit down, and I felt absolutely awful, really terrible at this point. I mean, every time I fly, I always go through this period where it's like, I remember this feeling. This is that horrible sort of, I haven't had any sleep feeling. I want to sleep, but I can't. I've got to keep pushing myself forwards, got to keep carrying on with my day. I went past that. I went into some other feeling of being ill from lack of sleep that I've never had before, and I felt like I might almost collapse. I thought I was going to fall over and faint or something like that. It was a very, very unpleasant experience. So I found this really quiet bench, and I just lied down on it. And just rested for a bit. Didn't sleep, just wanted to rest a little bit. And I've never actually done that in an airport before. I don't know why. I just find it very, not a strange thing to do, but I just feel uncomfortable doing it, like just lying down somewhere in public. I mean, on the beach, okay, there's some places where it's okay, where I don't seem to mind it, but like in the middle of an airport, even if it's quiet, maybe I'm just very untrusting of other people. Maybe I'm worried like someone's going to try and steal something. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I just lied there for a bit, and I think that helped. That did help a little bit, like having a little nap. But wow, I just felt absolutely awful. Absolutely dreadful, really. Anyway, all of the time, I waited 4 hours and or thereabouts, and then we started boarding the plane, got onto the plane, and I was feeling ill, really. I felt like I'd had a cold or something, just like really no energy, no power, just really tired, sluggish. It's horrible. And I'd found my seat, and I was just hoping. I was watching all these people coming down, and I was thinking, please don't sit by me. Please don't sit by me. It's because I wanted to like sit a bit more like lazily. Like you've got like 2 armrests at each side, but you can't really use those because they're only big enough for one person to put their arm on. So how do you can't really share it with anyone. So I was thinking, if I can sit on my own, I can just like put my arms up and like just sort of relax a bit more. And I had loads of leg space. I noticed. I thought, wow, this small plane has loads more leg space than the previous flight I just went on. And after a while, I realized it because I was sitting in the like an emergency exit above the wing, and at some point, like a flight attendant came over to me and said, like, if there is any trouble and we do have to make an emergency landing, you've got to like pull this red lever and do this to open the door, and that kind of thing. And she said, "Are you okay doing that?" And I said, "Yeah, it should be okay." Although I did wonder, like, am I going to be so tired that I'm going to sort of mess it up? But it shouldn't really. It was very, very simple to operate. And luckily, no one sat by me, so I had like a row of 3 seats entirely to myself. The rest of the plane seemed to be pretty much full, but yeah, that was nice. That helped a bit. It helped me rest a bit on the flight. Which was about 55 minutes long. And again, a completely uneventful flight. They served, I think I had a tea. I didn't want coffee, because coffee, when you feel that, you've had no sleep, maybe you think, oh, I'll have some coffee that will make me wake up, feel a bit more alert. It doesn't. It's, I've done it before. It makes you feel like you're dying. It's not very good. All you can do is you can sort of feel like your heart like racing, like beating more quickly, because of the caffeine, and you feel sort of like, I don't know, like something weird's happening to your body, but you still feel tired. You still feel like you want to sleep. So yeah, I always avoid like coffee. I think I might have had tea, which, it does have caffeine in. Probably not as much, but for some reason it doesn't affect me in the same way that coffee does. It doesn't make me feel so bad. So anyway, I think I had some tea. I had some biscuity thing. I think it was a coconut macaroon. It was quite big, actually. I wasn't expecting it to be so big, so it's quite sort of quite filling. But I hadn't had a proper meal for probably about 5 hours, maybe 6 hours by then. So it was time to eat. But I don't know. I didn't feel like eating. My stomach was sort of all over the place. I didn't know what it was supposed to be doing. So yeah, the flight, landed in Birmingham Airport. Fine, no issues or anything. Like, it was another good flight, really. And then what did I do? Went through. Oh yeah, I had to wait in a queue. I had to show someone my passport. No, I didn't. I had to go through some like passport gate type things and just scan my passport, and like a picture was taken of my face, and that said like, yeah, it's okay, you can come in. And then I just walked out through the arrivals, and my parents, they got a bit lost on the way. They were coming to pick me up, but they got a bit lost on the way to the airport. So they weren't actually there. So I came out and there's no one there waiting to meet me or anything like that. But I could, I've got like a sort of find my app type thing on my phone, and I could see where their location was. So I thought, okay, they parked up in the car park, and I know this airport pretty well because I've used it so many times. So I thought I'll just walk to them rather than waiting here. And I just wanted some fresh, cool air on my face to try and like wake me up a bit because I was so tired. So I was walking, like, there's this long walk all the way to the car park, and I could sort of see them in the distance, and I think they sort of recognized, oh, that was me. And so I met them after a year and a half, and it was very nice seeing them again. But a bit weird, partly because it hadn't been a year and a half. I'm telling a lie. They came to Japan in September, so it had been, it was about 10 months or something like that. Anyway, it did feel a bit weird, just because, probably because it had been a while, and mostly because I was so tired, and your brain just processes everything differently when it's really tired. It all feels a bit like a dream, a bit surreal. So we didn't hang around at the airport at all. I just wanted to go home and sleep, to be honest. So we went home, and to my parents' house, and it felt a little different. Like, how do you describe it? Like familiar, but different at the same time. Maybe a little bit smaller than I remembered it. But yeah, it's the same house and everything. They haven't moved. It just felt a bit different and a bit strange to be able to actually be back after all that time, because it had been a year and 8 months, just thereabout, before since I was last in England. So it's just weird, just sitting there thinking, like, looking around and thinking, wow, I'm actually back in England. Because there have been a lot of times I've been in Japan thinking, like, I wish I could go to England now. I wish I could go there and eat this, or I wish I could go there and do this, or go there and go for a walk around some place with loads of nature or something. I don't know, lots of things, lots of reasons I've wished to be back from time to time. So it was weird, just like finally sitting in my parents' living room thinking, yeah, I am back. It was late. It was about 11 o'clock by this time, 11 p.m. at night. So I didn't stay up too long. I did stay up a bit. It's sort of hard to go straight to bed, isn't it? Because you've just met some people and you want to talk to them. But I did go to sleep, and I think I slept pretty well, to be honest, which you'd expect because I was so tired. I might have woken up once or twice, but not too bad really. But anyway, I woke up the next morning and, well, I felt terrible, to be honest. Still, lots of jet lag. I think I didn't quite recover from all of the lack of sleep that I had also. And I seem to have like an allergy, and I don't know what. I mean, it could be the dogs. I'm not great with animals. I seem to be a bit allergic to them. I settle down. Like if I end up living somewhere that has cats or living somewhere that has dogs, then I think like after a few months or something, my body sort of gets used to it. But yeah, I've had this allergic reaction to something. It could be like hay fever, even though it's really, late? I don't know, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say. It could be different, like pollen. Like I'm not used to this pollen anymore in trees and stuff like that. So it could be anything. It's so hard. Or maybe it was a cold. Maybe I caught a cold on the plane. It's I couldn't tell. So not feeling too great, but it was nice. I like the next morning after I had some sleep, I woke up and it was like, yeah, okay, now I can begin. Now I can carry on with the rest of this holiday. So yeah, finally made it. And it is very good to be back in England once again. Okay, until next time, bye-bye.